The dark side of collecting. The horrible, nasty habits that we fall into. The traps that we fall into. I'm talking about another one. Yeah, and today we're going to talk about the blind buy. So let's discuss this awful practice. So, a few days ago, I done a talk on collecting habits and the pitfalls of physical media collecting. Well, it could be any collecting, couldn't it? Well, no, this one is specifically to physical media more than anything else. So, the other day I spoke about being a completionist or a completist, whatever term you want to use. Completionist, completist. And you can go and check that out. So today I'm talking about blind buyers, blind buying, and this is such a poor practice to get into. Blind buying has got to be one of the worst pitfalls in physical media collecting, and it's certainly a practice that I fell into back in the day. Now, blind buying for me kind of began during the days of DVD. Yeah, DVD days. Back when I got my first DVD player, I ensured that the very first player I got was a region 3 player, because obviously I knew that I could import from the States, and I knew shops that sold imports from the States up in London, shops that you could walk into, and they had the newest releases. And I spent a lot of money on blind buys, and I didn't learn my lesson. I would always justify it to myself, and this justification still continues today. Well, not today now. I think I've learned from my mistakes, but I'll come into it. A little while ago at least, these still came into play. But what it was at the time, I'd go into these shops, and you'd get excited because they had these new releases, and they were films that weren't even out in this country yet. So not only were you like enamoured by the fact that I've got a film that hardly anyone else has got in the country, people have not even seen this, and then 4 months down the line when people are going cinema to see it, I'd be saying, I saw that 4 months ago, I owned it 4 months ago, I bought it 4 months ago, and new people are going to the cinema to see it. So how did I justify these purchases to myself? Well, by exactly that, by saying exactly that. I would justify these purchases by saying, if I went cinema to see this, the two of us, me and the missus, with a drink, with a popcorn, it would cost this much, which costs about the same or more than what it would do by buying this import. Roughly about the same sort of a cost. So I'd justify it like that. But how many times do you get burnt by blind buying? This is the problem. And it was a lot. There was a lot of films that I bought that, it would sit in my collection, and I'd look at, and I would genuinely have remorse. I'd genuinely feel a sense of remorse that I bought that film. Two that spring to mind: The Whole Nine Yards, the Adam Sandler one. I think I mentioned that before. And A History of Violence. That's another one. Which I think some people like that film, but anyway, it's subjective. I didn't like it. I hated it, and I hated that I bought it. I hated myself for buying it. Now, there are different ways of blind buying, isn't there? Do I still blind buy? Yes, I still blind buy, but there's a certain justification in the way that I do it, in that generally it would be a franchise movie, possibly at times, and on other occasions, and this is where it comes into play most, would be a TV series. Let's say, for argument's sake, I'm a fan of whatever show. Let's say Jack Ryan. Okay, Jack Ryan. I've not seen the final season of Jack Ryan. Right now, I've seen seasons 1, 2, and 3. I've got seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I would certainly buy season 4 on release, because I know what I'm getting. I know that I know what it is. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's that. But there's other areas of blind buying that you may step into, and that being like, it's a director that you really like, it's an actor that you really like, it's from your favourite genre, superhero movies for me, something of that sort of ilk. So, you know, you're going in with a predisposed suggestion in your mind that this is going to be good because of A, B, or C. You can still get burnt. You can still get burnt, of course you can. You know, not every director knocks out a hit or a film that's for you. Same with not every actor either. You know, Nicolas Cage, my favourite actor. The other day I sat down and I watched that Dream Scenario. I should have known from the fact that it was an A24 film that I wasn't going to enjoy it. Other than from a fantastic performance by Cage, the film was not particularly good. So thusly, I hadn't bought it. I watched it on the day of release, but I hadn't bought it. I watched it online, and I didn't like it. So there you go. But that in the past, that had been Nicolas Cage. Okay, maybe not today because Nicolas Cage does knock out a lot of dross, doesn't he? But you see what I'm saying. So there's that. So there are reasons that people blind buy based upon certain factors around the item that they're purchasing. But back then for me it was a case of, this is new, this isn't out in the UK, I can get my hands on it, it's a brand new film, I can watch it before anyone else has seen it here in the UK, other than maybe pirate copy, and you know, and therein lied the problem. So I got burnt a lot, and probably, you know, I wouldn't like to think how much money I was burnt. So now later on in the Blu-ray days now, more recent collecting, I'm going the past few years, I had a similar experience with blind buys through the fact that they were so cheap. I'm talking about CEX pickups of things that I haven't seen, Poundland pickups of things that I haven't seen, and there the justification was twofold. In number one, I could say, well, this is around the same cost as a cup of coffee, a cup of Costa, shall we say, or Starbucks, cheaper even. With a Starbucks or a Costa, I've drunk it in half hour. With this, it's mine. It stays. It stays with me. I keep it. There's also the justification that it's the same price as a rental. You know, a rental back in the day, a VHS, you'd go into a store, you'd peruse, you'd rent a film on the same basis that you're buying a film now. It's kind of situation. Actor, director, genre, it looks good, you know, trailer was good, this sort of a thing. But even trailers can burn you. There's some crap films with fantastic trailers. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Okay, it's got better over time, but the trailer's fantastic, the first trailer. And the first trailer for Die Hard 5, Good Day to Die Hard, was fantastic trailer. But, you know, I'm going off on a tangent there. So, yeah, so it's the same as the price as a rental video. So, what have I got to lose? It's like I'm renting it, but yet I'm keeping it. This, in turn, then built up a load of crap in the collection behind me, which is apparent. And for me it's abhorrent as well. Abhorrent behaviour, an abhorrent practice. So blind buying, you know, this is one of those things that I avoid now, except in certain circumstances. Like I said, it's a genre piece. If it was a comic book movie, I'd probably buy it. I'll be honest with you, I would. If it's a continuation of a TV show that I really like and adore, I would buy the next season, on the basis that I've enjoyed all the other seasons. Do you know what I mean? There's that. But then that goes into completist behaviour as well, doesn't it? With the you know, the TV show. So there's all these little niggling, you know, attributes that we have. These little niggling bad habits or pitfalls, if you want to call them, that we can fall into. And yeah, I think that blind buying is probably one of the worst. So there we go, just a little chat on that, and one of the pitfalls of collecting, the not so nice side of it, the dark side. So I will be back with another one of these little in-depth talks about a collection bad habits. But yeah, let me know what one you'd like me to talk about, and I will, and let me know your thoughts on blind buying, because truly I hate it now. I really do. I don't get, you know, I'll be honest, I would stream it. I would legally stream it, right? Torrent it, whatever it may be, on one of these movie websites that you can go on where you can watch the film. I'd rather do that and then make a choice on whether I'm going to buy it or not. All right, and that in itself is far better than just spending the money on something that you then watch and you think, Jesus Christ, I've wasted my money. The good thing about Amazon, though, you can return it. Yes, there is that. So there's always that that route as well. Anyway, that's me done, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.